Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
You use Tearless Baby Shampoo because it's gentle on your baby's eyes. You make sure his toys don't have any sharp edges. You always test the bath water to make sure it's not too hot. You taught her what to do when the smoke alarm goes off. You make sure she wears a helmet when she rides her bicycle. You put on his sunscreen, even when he's embarrassed his friends will see. You do so much to keep your child safe. But are you using the right car seat for your child? Is your child facing the right way in the car seat? Is the seat too big or too small? How do you know when it's...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now.
Death isn't for human consumption. No one should have to eat the meat of death or drink from the bitter cup of sorrow.
G-Mama stepped up the whole way. And now we got to decide if we gonna marry her.
My grandmother just was tired. I saw life leave her before it even left her body.
And now everybody waiting to see what we gonna do the rest of it. Like that's all her life amounts to. What we gonna put on her back in the car. After raising all our family, and everybody only remember me on the holidays. My dresses became my family. If I would like to see, I love every color that would have been. I wanted people to say, oh, that's nice. That's what babies love.
I don't know what to do. My grandmother had all these suits and hats and colors, and they all remind me of something in her life, something in our lives, something in colors. What are we supposed to dress her in? The most obvious is black. The undertaker waits for us now to make a decision to bring my grandmother's homegoing clothes to the funeral home.
I don't know why they call it a funeral home anyway. Because nobody is there for a couple of days before they burn in the oven or throw in the dirt. And if you sit here and decision about G-Mama late making, I keep thinking that she will come back home. I told them when I die, put me in my favorite Sunday suit. But since my favorite suit never color on earth, I don't know what to do with that. Anything but pink. I don't think I would be covered in pink for all eternity.
So I picked black because black. I mean, black is the color of that cough my granddaddy had before he died. His lungs is black as the pipe he used to smoke his tobacco. Black is the color of coffee with no cream. The color of buzzards hovering over carcasses on asphalt. It is the dark hurricanes, nightfall when the birds slumber, dirty mud on hard coats. G-Mama used to say, it's the color of Africa, grape, and robbed of honeycomb and crumpets. Black is the color of auburn, growing in the womb and life traveling down this dark birth canal. It's the color of wrongs and reasons, woes and injustice. It's the color of the blues played down at Ola's ball Saturday night. It's the color of regret, of rage, life used up, sipping darkness out of a shot glass. It's the color of my blue soul turned inside out. The color of G-Mama's coffee, black. G-Mama's favorite suit, black. Crying black, weeping black, the saddest black. It's time to bury G-Mama, black.
G-Mama's dead, and the light's been gone out in my soul. A shadow of everyone's sorrow. I come back home, let my children love over their dead. They call me Jen, like so. I don't think so. I couldn't drink it for well. I take you straight to the gate. I love the way you sound to see all confident and correct at the same time. Don't mean to get it, but that's what you think. G-Mama said, these just foreign, like all the other foreigners in America. Down south, we know it's the truth. Too many of our folks still remember it. I think all my relatives would stay. G-Mama told stories like she come home from the pet with the rest of them. That causes you to remember all kinds of stuff. Bring up stories and open lock closet doors. Some walking big old muscle in front of you. You don't even know what's supposed to be in front of that person. Filled with skeletons. So many skeletons come out with them. Everybody got skeletons. And the color black showed up on your permission to walk around. I didn't know I was crazy. Until I felt that baby sucking life out of me. I couldn't breathe. That's when I know what was in me was a mass on his face. A lustful night in the back of his car, staring at a broken lamppost, my body gyrating to him heaving pleasure between my legs. That was a black night. I was 17 years old. I was hanging clothes on a line. Blood dripping from between my legs.
My name is Ruth Rusey. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
My name is Meera Batra. I have been in this country 32 years, and this is how I live united. America has always been the land of promise, and in my community many families have come for a better life. Coming from another culture myself, I know the desire to become part of a community, to feel at home and to gain the tools for our children and families to succeed. So I advocate for these families with United Way. United Way empowers them to look beyond their histories and to see what opportunities are available. We help them get involved with their kids' schools, network within the community, and when we do, we unite them. We make the community stronger. What I do is something I wish someone had done for me, and I am so grateful I am able to. My name is Meera Batra. I help families see opportunities and succeed. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Keyboard Cat, Hamilton the Pug, and Toast Meets World. These are some of the internet's most beloved pets. With millions of YouTube views, shares, Instagram likes, followers, and fans across the globe. But what do all these amazing pets have in common? Their stories started in a shelter. Start your story. Adopt a dog or cat today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a shelter or adoptable pets near you. Training that pet to play the keyboard? Well, that's entirely up to you. Visit theshelterpetproject.org and hear more about Hamilton the Pug, Toast, and Keyboard Cat's amazing adoption stories. Start a story. Adopt a shelter or rescue pet today. Your perfect pet is just a click away at theshelterpetproject.org. A public service announcement brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
Only in the forest can you see this. But nothing beats the moment you see that. Cool! That's your child's eyes opening up to a world of possibilities.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. And you might just see this. Visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Just a Bit Outside radio show. There is one glaring stat that I read about while watching the games over the weekend. New York Yankees went 22 straight innings with at least one strikeout.
Really?
That's a major league record for the postseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting statistic.
It is, you know, and then when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, that, to me, that's like a big reason why, you know, they're losing right now.
Are you thinking about getting your GED diploma? Well, here at the GED Pep Talk Center, we've got a number of pep talks that can motivate you.
Sometimes things don't always turn out the way you want them to.
You know that feeling? People look at you and don't believe in you.
You want some gentle encouragement. Then you're on your way to your GED diploma and a better life.
But I know they're probably just a little bit nervous. You can find it in yourself to take that first step.
You can improve your future. You can do this. I know you can.
You need to start pushing yourself.
Now get your game face on and take the first step towards a better life. Hurry up! Don't make me repeat myself.
Whatever level of motivation you need to get your GED diploma, we've got a pep talk that's right for you. Call 1-877-38-YOUR-GED or visit yourged.org for your pep talk and find free GED classes in your area. GED is a registered trademark of the American Council on Education. Brought to you by Dollar General Literacy Foundation.
Need more customers?
Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. Today it's going to be a different show. So for the last couple of weeks, I've been kind of on vacation. That's the camera right there, guys, if you want to see it. Okay. So I've been on vacation for the last couple of weeks, and I have to say it really feels good. I enjoy doing radio. I'm actually going into our 5th year on the air. The 5th year on Be Exposed Radio. And it was a much needed break. And we came back today because we have a young man in the building, a return guest, Mr. Rebel Rel, and he brought his one of his comrades with him today. So we're going to get to know them in a little bit. But before we do, I have to let everybody know, definitely go to our page, the Artist Exchange Radio Show at BeExposedRadio.com. And you can go to our page. Right now, you can go to Be Exposed Radio Facebook page, and you share it, like it, all those things. As well as you can go to our website, www.beexposedradio.com, and you'll see the YouTube video actually playing when you go to that. So I'm not gonna, waste any more time. We a little bit late starting, but we have Mr. Rebel Rel joining us again.
How you doing, man? Yeah, I just wanted to come through, stop through, and just let everybody know about the Urban Nights mixtape that I'm still booming with. I just most deaf. I'm about to release the Black Mass Freedom song on there on Spotify and everything with my man Twan, so y'all can look out for that. And I'm just working at it, just about to get these interviews and everything back. Same way like Nate said, been on a little vacation. I had to do some things on the side. Now it's time to get back in the grind mode. It's about to go down. More breakers.
So in being an artist, often people don't understand kind of the sacrifice that we often make.
Right.
And being a full-time artist, being an entrepreneur in general, I think it's a lot of sacrifice that has to be made. The understanding of like the people who are just watching from the outside, they don't realize how many jobs that you only have to work just to support the cost of being an artist. Unlike signing into a job or a 9-to-5 where the most you have to worry about is probably transportation, lunch for the day. But for an artist, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna get from point A to point B. Lord forbid if you don't have a car, then I have to worry about really like timing of getting from place to place.
Right. And you have to look good doing it.
Right.
You gotta look good doing it.
Well, I think that's the part that as artists we need to figure out a better strategy, because I get a lot of younger artists that come in here and they fresh, but their bank account is on.
When I mean, look good doing it, it's more of a personal
professional
thing. Yeah, it's, you gotta look good in everything you're doing. It's not about your money in your pockets or if you're wearing Gucci or not. That's not about what I'm talking about.
Well, I understood what you were saying, but I wanted to make it clear because I have
Right.
a lot of younger artists that look at the show, and we often. I helped with a photo shoot not too long ago, and the gentleman, he brought all of these name brand clothes that he paid for out his pocket, and in my opinion to him, he needed to be as neutral as possible. You can still look fresh and be neutral, and not have all these labels, because none of those labels are endorsing you.
Right, right.
Normally when you see artists with those labels on, those endorsements are coming from them.
Right.
Supposedly, and they should be.
Right.
But when you're starting out, you really need to just balance who you are and what you have.
Right.
And all those things that it takes to be an artist on a daily basis. People don't often understand this is a sacrifice to take financially, time away from your family. I've missed funerals. I've missed birthdays, my own birthday. I've missed a lot of things in your life that would be second nature. Of course you go to your mother's birthday party.
Right.
But if you contracted to be somewhere, even if you have given your promise that you're going to be somewhere, without a contract, you have to show up.
Right.
And if you don't, that's your name and that's your integrity and your reputation.
Exactly.
So you have to often sacrifice people, places, things, events that you would do outside of you being an artist. So you could be an artist. What have been some of those sacrifices that you've made, knowing that you're a parent and you work, all those things? What are some of the things that you had to sacrifice?
I'm gonna try to throw it all together because everything is involved in everything you said. But it's like the main thing that I usually sacrifice from is sleep, because over all of that, I still try to do all of that. Like, of course, I still try to be daddy. I still try to do the regular life. Still gotta go to work. Still gotta. I just don't be sleeping for the most part. Still gotta pay for stuff. It's just like the main thing I lose is really just be sleep, because I try to do everything.
And that's the one thing that you can't afford to lose. You can't afford to lose sleep. You can't afford to.
You need the energy.
Right, you need the energy, but your body needs it. Like, your body loses a lot of energy. You actually open yourself up to sickness and illness. Your immune system drops. Your focus drops. There's a study done. I just watched a study on YouTube, and they were during the Nazi Germany takeover. They were forcing people to stay up for 30 days straight. And after day number 6, people began to lose their mind. Like, literally disconnect themselves with reality. And they were pumping this gas into the room the whole time, and once they cut it off after the 6-day period, the people start asking for the gas again. Like, they had just taken the oxygen.
I forgot what it was called.
They were really detached.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I forgot what it was called.
It was a study during the Nazi Germany takeover, and it really showed like the lack of sleep. Like, I used to could go 2 and 3 days, like working, get off work at midnight, go to school in the morning, do whatever I had to do during the day, and start it over without any sleep. And now at 35, that ain't happening.
Oh no, not at all.
I'm gonna go to sleep.
We all in private.
Once you start seeing shadows, once you start seeing stuff that's not really there, it's like, it's time to go to sleep.
But of course, so you were saying
try to do better now, though. I definitely try to do better now.
See, this is why older people take naps. I understand it now. I really understand it. It's a lot of energy throughout that day.
You need it. You need it.
Like, by the time like 5 o'clock come around, because I get up at 6 or 7 every morning. So when I'm about time like 5 or 6, I'm looking at everybody in the house like, I don't even feel like playing with my dog. You know what I mean? I don't even feel like playing with my dog. So if I gotta get a nap in real quick, 30 minutes, I will sneak that nap in and then wake up and be energized.
It's often sacrificing stuff that you think is fun and that grind. If you really want this, and I tell a lot of the young people that I'm around now, sacrifice now. Like, while you have the energy to sacrifice and get the work done, because when you're in your 30s and 40s and 50s, you can then enjoy your success. We're on a 5-year, 10-year rotation. So every decision that you made 5 to 10 years ago, you're living the results of those decisions now. So if you stayed up, you didn't get into your studies, and you didn't do those things, one, you didn't graduate from college or high school or whatever, and you don't have the money saved because you didn't save money, you don't have the time put into your passion because you decided to go down to Paradox, and party it out, play a little basketball. But
I like the way you put that. I never even heard nobody put it like that. That the 5 or 10 years in the past that you did, that you're living in now.
Things that you did last year, you're paying for them right now.
Hey, like, definitely totally makes sense.
But in terms of like life goals, they're normally on a 5 to 10 year, basis. Like education was like elementary school to 12th grade. So if you didn't handle your business in that time, and it's not often your fault, but if you didn't do things as an individual, 12 years later, when you're 24, you're suffering. You can't read that well, you're not on your grade level, you're not where you want to be because you didn't pass and you didn't have the grades or whatever. So I started looking at it that way once I was grown. And I realized the things that I didn't sacrifice because I tried to be there for my friends, my family, and I still was working, and I didn't put enough practice and preparation into my craft. So I feel like I'm a little bit older, you know, getting into my craft. So the work is harder now, trying to get it moving. Go ahead.
The only good thing that I say about that is like me having to deal with stuff that way, the hard way, and struggling. I definitely was forced to learn from it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I definitely had to change and alter what I'm doing. Like how you said it, I never thought of it, but I actually started doing it. I even started like eating better, just because I'm getting older. So eating better to feel better, get back in a healthy lifestyle.
You start feeling stuff, even with like you said, eating. Supposed to be, you feel that immediately.
What Cat Williams say? He said, "Man, you stretch the wrong way, you gonna feel like you can yawn like this."
Used to be able to go all that. You know, gotta get back. Get back
And it just goes, and that's something that I live by. So the decisions that I make today, I really think about how this affects me, and it doesn't limit me, but it helps me to make better choices with people, places, things, my attitude, all those things that we normally take for granted and we kind of put off. We definitely need to start focusing. And as an artist and entrepreneur, your habits mean a lot to your success. So if you don't have good habits, if you always late, if you're not ahead of time, you're not putting the practice in, and you just showing up thinking, hey, I got this. No, because you didn't memorize none of those lyrics. So now that hour of studio time is now 3 hours and 3 times as much as you budgeted to pay for. So I mean, really thinking about those things in the large scheme and the everyday practice of it really helps you to kind of move along. What were some of the mistakes that either of you made in like pursuing it?
The mistake, well, the number one mistake that I'm still working on is being structured. Once you're structured, everything falls into place way more better. Because when you got everything, I understand when you plan out things, you know, plans don't always happen. But when you got everything structured, everything falls into place. Like, if you have this paperwork over here that's made for taxes next year, you need to put those over here, you know, label them or whatever. There's things that need to be, you know, done in the studio need to be put over here. You know, like actually separating your books and actually becoming structured. Now, I usually keep structure in the household. You know, that's what I do. You know, bathroom got to be clean. You know, trash got to be taken out. You know, dishes got to be clean. You know, no dishes in the sink before we go to sleep. You know, understand? You know, stuff like that for real. You feel me? Things are supposed to. But when it comes to business, I was kind of like everything. You know, somebody hit me and say, "Oh, I got a verse I want you to be on." All right, well, yeah, send it over. And I go ahead, I'm gonna write into that. And then somebody else will hit me like, "Well, you know, I got a radio station, this, that, that." Oh, well, yeah, well, book that for me. And this, that. I'm all over the place. So now I'm at the calendar, and I'm like, damn, that's right. Like, what this?
Only 24 hours in a day.
And now when they come, I'm short on cash. I might be like, well, damn, I can't even make that. And like you said, that's unprofessional. When you said you're supposed to be somewhere, you feel me? You're supposed to be there, whether it's your word or you pay for it or not. You know, I done missed Texas last year. I paid $300 to be at that show, and I missed it because I didn't have enough to get there. So being structured is my mistake. You get what I'm saying? Like I have to be way more structured in this. You know?
If you can move your chair over a little bit.
I actually did that before myself.
If both of y'all just move a little bit. But that goes into like really being respectful of your own time. Your own money, and when those two things get crossed and you over exercise, like just making decisions, and you're not thinking about, well, I paid that money to actually do it, but I don't even have money to get on the flight to get there. Well, I just have enough to get the flight, but how I'm gonna eat or how I'm gonna XYZ, and you gotta put those things in you gotta put everything in order.
It has to be in order. So yeah, that's my mistake, and I'm just telling everybody else, don't make the same mistake. Keep everything in order. As soon as you start thinking that you want to rap, put everything in order. I filed my taxes last year, and the lady was like, "Oh yeah, you got a business, I see. So you ready to file taxes for that?" And I'm like, "Well, I got none of my receipts ready. I don't got nothing written down. Everything I did for the last 3 years. You get what I'm saying? Like everything has to be structured. Everything for real."
Even the way you order your, the way you order your books and the way that you read. If you treat everything structured, it'll be way more better.
And it's putting in the work now, so you don't have to do all that work ahead of time. But we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Check out this flashback from Sunset Soul Radio.
Sometimes, let me say this, sometimes people did things a certain way because that's all they knew. Right. So let me finish what I'm saying. Let me keep my point. If the only thing they knew 40 years ago was to handle like this, that's what they did. So we're holding accountable and a standard for something that some people, that's all they knew how to do. So they did it the way they had to do. Big Mama, when you did something, no, I'm not arguing. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that the church as a whole, we have issues that we need to work on. Everything got issues. But instead of criticizing the church, let's be impactful to show something different. It bothers me. Because guess what? Because, watch this. This is what I do. I can't say to anybody else. But my church is not judgmental. We love God. All of us are sitting fall short of the glory of God. I believe it. One of our statements of my church is, there's nobody more important from the pulpit to the back door. All of us are God's children. That's one of the things I teach my membership. I teach my church. Because we're all God's children. All of us are flawed. All of us got issues. But you got to also take into consideration, what is the black church to the black community? We only did what we knew. That was the only place we got information. That's the only place we got education. That was the only place that we were accepted to do and to be and be free and be leaders and to guide this. And they did a good job for what they had. So I think we spent too much time condemning what was our foundation instead of trying to be progressive and say, okay, well, listen.
How do you be progressive?
You show something better without criticizing what was there.
No. Sunset Soul Radio, Thursdays from 7 to 9, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BigExposedRadio.com. I was meeting with a friend yesterday, and I've gotten to the point where don't ask me a question because the truth is going to come out. Exactly. Just don't do it.
If you ain't looking for the truth, don't come to me.
Don't do it because I can't hold my tongue. And she wants to be this stylist, boutique, but you're not doing anything in that nature. And I can't take you seriously if you're not doing those things. And I understood why people didn't take me seriously because I found myself in somebody else's lane. I was good at what I was doing and what I wanted to be, but I wasn't doing it for me. So how can I ask you to take me seriously if
on Salacious Life Radio?
You know, when it comes to your children, especially if you're dating someone that you actually like actually.
Hey, what's up? Make sure your volume down. Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BigExposedRadio.com. So you're gonna host and encourage. Mr. Rebel Rel. Say your name one more time, sir.
Chopper Man.
Chopper Man. Get up a little closer. Tell us where we can find you at on social media.
You can find me at PovertyENT _. You know, Poverty_ENT at anywhere. Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TuneCore. Where else I'm at? Reverb Nation. Number1music.com. That is my platform. I love that Number1music.com.
What does that do?
Find me on that too. Number1music.com. Oh, that's just like it's a it's a platform for artists to share their music. You can get your music sold from there. I wouldn't do it. I don't know how they work out the numbers on there, so I wouldn't do it. I use it for promotion. Right. And right now I'm like number 2. Be like number 2 and like the whole the whole city, not country, not only in the city for real. Okay. I haven't checked it since 2 days ago, but since I checked it,
so it gives you your stats,
and we were just number 1, 2. Huh?
It gives you your stat just for that site or just in general?
No, it gives you stats just for that site. Okay. But you can also link your other sites to it to let people know if you got shows coming up, what you the new videos that you let go on YouTube, everything like that for real. So everything is kind of linked and connected.
Okay.
But I get a lot of love on there. Thank you, Number1music.com.
I don't know nothing about that.
I get a lot.
So where we find you at on social media, sir?
Oh, well, right now, you know, I just promoting the Google, because right now we working with Spotify, real heavy. Me and Jay Gittins, we doing a lot of music together. We might be putting together this Two Sides to the Story project. So right now we just did the reintroduction. We got reintroduction just put on Spotify. We got Infusion we just put on Spotify, and both of them is collabs with me and Jay Gittins. So that right there is what I'm promoting, and the Urban Nights mixtape that y'all can Google. That's on cdbaby.com.
So yeah, CD Baby is I forgot about CD Baby. CD Baby is actually a good one.
I mean, and I tell a lot of artists, beyond just putting your stuff out there, that's just like making a post about or posting a flyer on your social media. It takes a lot more work in terms of advertisement. So if what you don't understand, just seek out somebody that do understand what the process is or how it works. Learn the process so you know that you're not just putting your money into individuals that are not really doing what they're supposed to be doing. But you have to really do more than just put your stuff on these sites. One, because the sites then own a lot of your music. Even though you have credit, they still own like the circulation of your music.
They're still in
control. Right, and they have that control over your stuff being on there and how it's rotated and what's at the top and whatnot. Even though you're doing good on it.
And that's the only reason why I put promotional music on there. You get what I'm saying? Like the music that I'm gonna sell, I really don't put it too much on there. You might catch me outside selling CDs. You know what I'm saying? I know a lot of people don't even do that no more. You know, CDs kind of dropping out. You know, everybody on their social media and everything. But yeah, you might catch me outside with a whole bunch of CDs for real. You know, like the stuff that's on the net right now, all that's promotion. So you can really take it and do whatever you want to do with it. As long as you give me, I'm gonna get the promotion for it. My face is on. You know what I mean? Like Poverty ENT is all over. So whatever you want to do with it, go ahead. Even if you think that you're gonna make some money from it, that's on you. I don't got nothing to do with that. Some people ask about what happened. He ain't buy that beat. What's going on with this? This ain't right. I got nothing to do with that. Because you want to do what you want to do. You know? So that's why I do all of that for promotional use, just to get my face out there and get my group face out there.
One of the things that I'm noticing with artists and everybody learning how to own their music and own like the rights to everything, you're shutting out what worked for artists. And that's one of the things that I've noticed. Just like we were talking before the show started, I was saying like even on a radio show like this, we're limited in what we can actually play, even if you give us permission. Because then you're giving a publishing company rights to be able to license out your music. Even though you still get paid from that, they've restricted how much things have been going. I don't know if people remember a few years ago when Kathy Hughes was kind of doing this campaign to help save, radio stations in terms of how the fact that we have to pay for it. Because if people don't, well, I'll tell artists this. On top of us having to pay for the rights to your music, stations pay to the publishing companies the right, like BMA and publishing companies like that, to be able to even play music in general. Just to play music. Whether it's registered. Exactly. And then on top of that, artists are now realizing that they want ownership of their music. So they limit the amount of music that a station can play. That used to be how music got listened to. That's how singles used to be selected. So the singles at the radio stations became the popular music. So that became your single. The publishing companies and the management companies never really selected the singles. They probably had in their mind what they wanted to play, but the stations kind of determined, the DJs and the hosts kind of determined what was hot and what wasn't. And a lot of that control, even though things are getting digital now and things are a lot faster, and artists are more savvy than they were before, and they're not just a talking head out there. But you have to realize the relationship with radio and media, and even just your fan base. You really have to understand what it is to kind of just develop the relationship and engage and maintain it at the same time. Where are you with just the promotion of your work, like in terms of the learning curve, or?
The learning part, I'm actually, I've been going up to like the libraries, getting these books, reading stuff, just to see how, just how actually more.
Not YouTube University.
Yeah, no, not YouTube University no more, but always Google Rebel Wax. But no, I'm just trying to, you know, learn more of the craft so I can know what to do with my music and I mean how to do it so when I go back to investing, I'll be invested in something more lucrative. Or like you say, like if I gotta pay for like if I gotta work the grind and pay to go towards a campaign, the particular campaign with ads somewhere and stuff. This is the stuff I'm gonna do because that's the stuff that's more, it holds more.
Right.
Like when I'm gone, if I got an ad somewhere or a commercial or just out, it's still promoted.
Right. Learning where to put your money and what's important in the value of it, and you're not just spending your money for the sake of saying you spent money on this.
I put so much.
Because then that money gone forever. You don't get that money back. Return it. What's the return?
Exactly. Right.
And you, sir?
Well, you talking about with the promotion? Where can you start with promotion? Like that's a full-time job in itself. I mean, that's like you gotta really separate yourself.
You don't have
from being
a person
an
that's being paid to do that.
Yeah, really. Exactly. Like you gotta really separate yourself from being a businessman, an artist, to a promotional guy. And it's like wow.
But regardless, whether you have a multi-million-dollar contract or not, you still have to do that. Yeah. When a movie comes out, what do we see? Interviews from the actors.
Yeah, exactly.
You still have to be the face of your promotion.
That really kind of takes it. Really. All right, for me to be, all right, let's say we're on the track together.
Right.
I'm promoting it live. You just sitting back and you chilling.
Oh, that won't happen.
I know that won't happen, bro. But I'm just saying, you know, most people will do that. Right. They let you go ahead and you go ahead and do the promotion. I've seen local people get on tracks with, you know, mainstream artists. And the mainstream artists are not promoting that song. Not even mentioning it. You get what I'm saying? But that person, you know, the local artist is like, I'm on the track.
But do you realize why they did that?
I understand why they did that. You know, it's all about business at the end of the day.
But it has nothing to do with money. It has all to do with, so if you on a track with a mainstream artist, that means you will push it because now you on the track with somebody that's a little bit higher than you in the food chain. So they're banking on you just like these promoters that are doing these high school level promotional concerts, and they're filling up the roster with all these no-name artists or individuals that are just emerging or just starting up. They're putting it all on because they're banking that this person is going to invite 100 people because the person that's top bill on that, I ain't inviting nobody.
Right.
They not doing nothing.
That's what I'm saying. All right, and then you might see that same artist come on an interview later. Yeah, you know, I help artists that I get back to the community. You know, I do this, I do that. And it's like, wow, like, dude, I was just on the song with you. You didn't put it out there.
All you gotta do is one mention.
One tag from a mainstream artist, and it's going viral.
Right. Or just you
but they want you to.
They want you to break it back to get where they at.
Right, but it's not breaking your back because they did the same thing to get to where you were.
Exactly.
But the thing is, once people get to that level, no, everybody has to work hard. If it was given to you, best to believe you was on your back getting it. That's how you got it. It wasn't given to you. You gave up something to get to that place. And people get to that level. A lot of artists that I know from the city, they forget where they came from, and they forget because it's really liking something on somebody's page means the world. That means this person, whoever following that person, sees it. Now, I'm not worried about the person that's going to like something. I'm worried about the person who initiated the like. Right. That's where my focus is. Right. And that's the difference between the 5 faithful and the 5,000 fair weather fans and followers. I mean, you gotta know where your focus is, because the fair weather is going to follow the people that they follow. So
any position to do with this, you know, you got that follower, whatever, bro. He might be a bad, or she might be a bad just with another person.
So the same way you're talking to people, the same way you're coming on an artist exchange, you got to continue to do that. You may not be able to do it as much once you get a little bit higher, but it's not even about that. You actually go to places that you weren't before, because you don't have time to put things, the artist exchange in your rotation every couple of months. Maybe like every couple of take that because
and you also got to protect it, you know, because I mean, you know, when people get up to that status, that bracket, you know, you get kind of nervous up there. You know,
well, you can get nervous, but if you don't maintain it,
like you've been moving like you ain't had no money.
Like, don't invite all these new people, like, and just have them like super close and all your person for the noise stuff. Right. You saying like, you know, people do be we don't been in situations like that before, but you know.
You have to sometimes realize what's important in your growth process, and often maintaining who you are and not becoming this persona is really what's important. And we try to put these guards up because I don't want people asking me for stuff, and I don't, you know, I gotta keep this for my. But you forget that those same people are the people that got you there, and you hear that argument a lot. Well, you know, you didn't mind getting my ticket sales down here, but up there you don't even care about it because you know people will come regardless. So it's not even about who's coming; it's how many at that point. So
and that's why I always post. You know, if you support us, we support you. Period.
Right,
If you show love, we gonna show you love back. That's why, you know, when people send me messages on number1music.com, that's why I post them. You know, and I say little things back. You know, I actually interact with them. You know, because that means the world to some people for real. You know what I mean? Like
I do the same thing. But one thing that I've always did this from like even way back when I was a teenager. But I'd be the one to initiate it first. Just because I know I do it. I show it to all of y'all first. But as soon as one of you that don't show it back, that's what I'm least worried about. I don't care who it is. Like if I show love to him, I show love to Poverty. You know what I mean? And they show love back. We're gonna have another doing something together. Like we're gonna hit the studio next or something. But if I show somebody down and I have somebody over here with me and he don't even let me know about the next week, just about we all need to promo. You know what I mean? So he don't even keep me posted with stuff. Then not working with him. He's just gonna fade away.
In terms of your content, who do you write your own music? Is that important to you?
Yes, very.
You can go first.
Yes, I write my own music. Everybody, you hear that? I write my own music. But what I want to say is when I do get to a certain level, and you know how the group, because like I told you, I come from the group IBNT. So what we're gonna do is, as a group, once we get to a certain level, if my brother have a verse for me to, you mean for a verse because he thinks that I sound better on that verse, then yes, I would. You know, because we all gonna get the money together. You understand what I'm saying? If this man right here got a verse that he wants me to do because he thinks I sound better on the verse, we're gonna have to, you know, sit down and do some business. You know, and I'll go ahead and pay for the verse.
So why do you think that's such a problem for people now?
Because you can't claim that you write your own stuff and you don't write your own stuff. I'm tired of people lying. Like, don't lie. You know, I mean, if you don't write your own stuff,
I got a little answer. My answer just brief, because just for this top, it's just what I do. I just write my own stuff. I don't really got no. I wouldn't be able to. It's completely different what he's saying. I understand him. He's saying it to the point how Thug and what's the name used to go to the studio together. You see what I'm saying? Like we in there rocking together, and we go and I end up, oh, and I scratch something out. No, he be like, yo, that's different. It's not like he wrote my verse. He just gave me an idea that I went off of. But on the most part, like mostly that's all. I just write mine because I'm able to express mine. I got a passion for what I'm saying, so it's better that way because I won't be able to say it or do it how somebody else do and say what they wrote. Like I couldn't do a script that ain't about me. I ain't gonna get the part.
It's called a dictionary. If it's too many words out here for you to want another man to write your words, you know what I'm saying?
I don't think it's an issue.
I don't think it's a problem
because some people can write and they can't rap, and some people can rap and they can't write.
That's what I mean.
So I don't think it's an issue. I just wanted to ask other artists this because I don't really see it. If that's your strong suit, that's what you do.
Milli Vanilli. That's all I gotta say. That's all I'm saying.
Drake.
Milli Vanilli.
How they doing?
But that wasn't about writing. They weren't singing. That's a difference.
I don't even think they were writing it. That's what I'm saying. If you're not singing your own lyrics,
this is my thing.
Well, no, I mean, but you can't get caught up in that. I think it's very important for you to learn how to write because then you own your music. Look at an artist like Whitney Houston, who was the best singer, hands down across the board. But she got producing credit. because she knew how to arrange music, but
Right.
she didn't get any writing credit.
Right.
One of her biggest songs, "I Will Always Love You," was written by Dolly Parton,
Right.
who still
Right.
gets checks every time
And
Whitney
this
is heard
what-
singing that
and
song.
see, that's another thing
Right.
too. When you're young and you come
Mhm.
in this industry, oh yeah, we're gonna give you a ton of things that we want you to sing, or that we want you to rap. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like you're not really coming in writing your own stuff anyway. I mean,
Mhm.
if you're younger, when you come
Well,
in,
I think it's changed now because most people
People
are
want hits.
partnering with management and production companies. They're not really coming in as
Right.
a new fresh face.
Right.
They already have to be established.
Right, exactly. So it's like, I mean, I think writing your own lyrics, your own material is definitely important. It comes from you. That's you're giving the public your life and the way that you express certain things. So if someone else is writing that for you, that's big ups to that person. I'm not saying that I disrespect it or anything, because like you said, like some people can't read and write. But they can say things.
Right.
They can talk. You know what I'm saying? They can get their girl to go ahead and write their lyrics for real, so they can go ahead and rap it. I've seen it done.
And we have to understand what it is to like employ people and be a boss. If you can't give somebody an opportunity, you're not a boss to
Right.
me.
Right.
And if you're not giving somebody a sustainable opportunity, so for me, whether you write your lyrics or not, just is the difference between you getting paid. So I'll compare Whitney with Mariah. Mariah wrote like 90% of her #1 hits. So the money that Mariah has is just her. She don't have to do anything.
It's lasting
So she
longer.
can just walk around stage and not do anything and still get paid.
And she's
Whitney had to be talented.
Right.
So the moment her vocals became a problem, her career was then in jeopardy. Now I'm not saying she wasn't talented at anything else, but the outside looking in, we knew she wasn't writing it. Her music was being chosen for her versus somebody who wrote all of that music, who can then continue to sell music to people.
And I think when people work harder. I think the people that actually write the material themselves and everything actually kind of work
I wouldn't say that. I really wouldn't say that because I'm just in talent wise. I don't really think that that's necessarily the truth. Because me as an actor and put a poet next to me. When I used to go to open mics, poets used to look at me crazy because I was doing other people's monologues or doing other people's poems. But as a poet, as a poet, I feel like I gotta write my own stuff. I can't get up there and do somebody else's poem. But to me, I'm not a playwright. I'm not a poet. So why am I sitting up here trying to write something when I can articulate my acting and be just as awesome as you when you wrote performing and you wrote your stuff. Now, do I get publishing for the stuff or do I get paid? I get paid, but the person who, whenever I do a play, whoever has the rights to that, they get paid for that.
Right.
So that's the difference.
That's a good way to
So
put
this
it.
is what I'm saying. Like, all right, now you see how confident your feeling was. Like, like what shit? You mean like I'm a basically look, I'm gonna look better because I'm acting it out, and I'm basically, like you said, the monologue and everything. So for him, he's on the other end. Like, damn, if I scratch that out, they might not like that. You know what? I'm gonna rehab of it. Rehab of it. You know what I mean? Then I'm gonna see if somebody like it. And if y'all like that, I'm gonna come back with
That's
some
how
more.
they usually
Like, it's really kind of nervous when you write your own things. Now, for me personally, I don't really care about the responses to my music for real, because I'm giving you me. I'm giving you me. But I know some people out there. What did he say out of his mouth? Did he really do that? I know some people want to call my phone. Like, child, did you really? You alright? You cool? Like, yeah, I'm alright, bro.
Right.
It's just how I was feeling that day. Well, how I was expressing things. That day, you feel me? So
But we look at artists the same way when we do that. So we normally associate what someone says out their mouth with who we think they really are, and we understand that that's not totally different. And I don't think that matters whether they writing their stuff or not. I think if you writing it, you would want to be real. But you can write about anything.
I think you should just like you're doing now, just keep asking each individual artist, because I think you're gonna get a lot of different unique answers.
Yeah. Well,
I have no shade on each side of this. I'm going to write my own stuff because I'm more.
Well, if that's your skill set, a lot of people don't have that skill set.
Yeah, like
the way that we was growing up, it was told to us when we was little. When we started rapping and everything, yo, write your own lyrics, man. Don't let somebody else write your lyrics, man.
I don't know if that was
go ghostwriter.
My bag or not, but
well, I think that had more to do with people owning the music than it was the skill of writing.
Right, true.
That had more. If I buy this song from you, it's no longer yours.
Right.
It's my song.
Exactly.
Yeah, but he's saying more.
If I added a period or comma somewhere in that lyric, it is now our song.
Right,
true.
It's not yours.
Now, I know you remember the beef CDs, the beef DVDs. I know you remember them. If you see one of them back in the day, and he's like, man, you don't write your own shit. And he's like, oh, you don't write your own what? Oh, this the whole time he thought that you was writing your lyrics, brother, and that's not even you.
But see, I think it's because he promoting himself to a crowd that don't like that at that point. When you're doing that, they don't want you to not write your own stuff, because once you say you don't, everybody not with you.
And we about to go to break, but my response to that is, how many of you are writers? How many of you are writing? In terms of those people who complain.
Right. Oh, okay.
How many of you are writers?
Right.
How many of your lyrics have you written?
Look, like I see how I say I don't want nobody to write for me, but I wouldn't mind writing for a lot of people.
Right.
So we're gonna take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Here's what you missed on Salacious Life Radio.
You know, when it comes to your children, especially if you're dating someone that you actually like, you do want it to work. So you're gonna hope and encourage the relationship between your child and that person because you like that person, you know. So you're gonna hope for the best. I mean, sometimes it just doesn't work, and you can't make it work. You can't force it. It's like a branch. You keep bending it. Eventually, it'll snap, and even if you put it back together, it'll never be what it once was. But you definitely pray on it. You hope for the best, you know, because like nobody wants to spend the rest of their life alone just because a particular relationship didn't work out, but you had this beautiful creature as a result of it, you know. But you don't want to necessarily spend and you're not all of a sudden a bad person. You're not all of a sudden not going to fulfill this other person's needs.
You, madam, are a harlot and a scoundrel.
Because I had one kid while I was still married. Like,
I take that back.
What if the situation turns around the other way? So you ready for your child to meet? They meet the person, and this person is a giver. So this person's buying your child lots of gifts and wanting to.
I would usually.
Do you let?
You don't like if it's a birthday or some sort of holiday or something like that. Okay, and they want to get them a few things or get them something. Okay, but just on like a regular basis, like unless it's like Nestle's Quick or something that you can get from like, you know what I'm saying, or like Kit Kats or something like that. Like, no, don't spend a lot of money on. It's unrealistic.
I'm sorry.
It's unrealistic. Like, don't try to buy his.
Tune in live to Salacious Life Radio every Wednesday from 9 to 11, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
We're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. So we got these tariffs out here, and I guess now that the tariffs are affecting the farmers, Jim, President Trump is going to get, was it $12 billion, Harry?
$12 billion, that's right. He's proposing that to Congress and to
do we have $12 billion?
Well, that's what the Republicans are saying. They don't want to do it.
They're pissed
because they said they don't want. But the farmers don't want welfare.
Absolutely.
They want to stop the tariffs. Jim, you say what?
So then we'd be borrowing money from other countries, is what the Republicans are saying.
Yep. But that's your boy. That's who you put up there, Kyle Irby.
I didn't put him up there.
I mean, but I'm saying, you know, that's
some of these Republicans probably didn't put him up there.
No,
but yeah,
and look what's about to happen. So really, what you're trying to do is pay off the farmers for them to settle down.
That's right. But the farmers don't. Some of these farmers are billionaires, and they're saying they don't want no welfare from the government. This is a subsidy. In essence, it's like welfare. Here, I'm gonna give you this money for your crops, and we're gonna give it to the food banks. It's not really selling your crops at the highest price possible. It's actually giving you almost like a token.
Hey, what's up, and welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live on BeExposed Radio. Rebel Row, he had to leave. I'm sure he will return at some point. But we still have Mr. Copperman with us right now. In terms of you being an artist, what
and we're back with more
that's
Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. I'm sorry.
Commercials still on. In an industry that's oversaturated by just all levels of talent, all types of people, how do you plan on standing out from that? from that crowd?
I mean, it's real kind of hard because everybody does music. Like, everybody does music. It's at least 1,000 people out here that I have no idea who they are and they do music. So what really kind of separates me is, you know, my personality, you know, the way that I handle business, and I'm funny. But no, really that, you know, I want to do something different. And I'm not really going to express that yet because I want to show it rather than say it, you know. But I think I got a way different style. When, you know, if you hear my music or if you hear me rap, I don't sound like I'm from Baltimore. I don't sound like I'm from here.
So is that important to you, or was that important for you to kind of detach yourself from the quote unquote Baltimore sound?
Actually, it's not. I'm not going to say it's important, but I think that it's good. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
sound neutral?
Yeah, it sound neutral. You know, I mean, I'm from Baltimore. You know, I've been here 30 years. You know what I mean?
Why is that important to you?
This is because the only reason I'm saying that is because, you know, when you hear Baltimore sound, a lot of people that's not from Baltimore turn their ear away. They got, you know, it's like, oh, it's that same Baltimore sound. Oh, it's that same dummy Doug. You know, it's the same. You know, it's the same stuff for real.
I don't think that's.
No, I'm talking about. I can't really explain it because I've been so many different states.
What you're doing, but I understand what you're saying. But what you're speaking about is a bunch of individuals who saw somebody else succeed at something and tried to mimic that. That's not a sound. That doesn't define the Baltimore sound.
I'm talking about the people that not like that. I'm talking about the people that actually rap and haven't heard anybody else rapping about anything and not try to mimic anybody else. I'm talking about Baltimore has its own original sound.
Yeah, but what I'm saying to you, what you're saying is somebody who saw somebody do something and then mimic that. That's what the industry term
you're talking about. You're talking about that harmonizing, that hum, that. I understand what you're talking about. No, I'm talking about that sound, the way that we talk, our accents. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's the sound that I'm talking about. If you listen to Young Moose and then you listen to G Baby,
why do you feel the need to take that out of
because everybody sounds the same? You understand what I'm saying? I can't really distinguish who is what's the name? Scholar, Young Moose, G Baby, and somebody else that's from Baltimore.
And see, that's what
that really steps out is Tim Cobain to me. Because he sounds different. His music sounds different.
Well, that goes into production. That has nothing to do with how you physically talk. So if we all from Baltimore, and people normally can tell DMV from Baltimore, from DC, from Virginia, I don't feel that there's a need, because this is what happens to our culture when we try to separate and then assimilate with what mainstream is, so we become neutral. This has happened to me as an actor. I was told that I had a horrible lisp, so I went through all these speech classes to get rid of the lisp. And when I was in college, my professor, who wasn't from Baltimore, who was a country ass old lady from, told me my Baltimoreese tongue was too heavy. The same lady who was curving all of her words. And I think what happens is when we separate ourselves from who we naturally are, we then become that other person, rightfully so. But it takes away from the culture that you're then taking resources from.
See, I understand what you're saying.
And that's why Baltimore will never be at a place. And when I say never, I'm not saying that it can't ever change. But until we drop that attitude, like I can't associate with, now nobody wants to say they live in Baltimore City because we infested by rats. But if you go to New York, they walk in on the daytime like everyday citizens. But so this city gets the blame for a lot of like the ghetto-ness and the hardcore and the kind of the grunginess that is black culture. And I don't think anything is wrong with us celebrating who we are. I know how to talk. I know how to speak correctly, and I know how to be clear in my diction and my utterance. I know all those things, but at the end of the day, I was born in South Baltimore General. My father's family from Cherry Hill, and my mother's family from West Baltimore. So it's gonna be in me regardless, especially when you piss me off.
But see, the only thing is that make sure that you stay original. As long as you're yourself and that you're original. Original is you.
But original is just
but not trying to but I'm talking about not trying to mimic the next person or trying to sound like the next person, or that sounds good, so let me try to make it sound like this. Nah, I'm talking about being yourself, just being original.
separate yourself during the creating process. When you're creating anything, you should shut yourself out from anything that you hear.
Right.
And that goes because the same. So you're hearing about a lot of artists now where Marvin Gaye's family is suing them, and because they're listening to these things to get inspired, to hear things, and that's where samples start coming from. So they become inspired by, but the originality of things kind of went out the door when everything became digital, and nothing was manual anymore. Look at photographers. You know how all of so when you're on Instagram and you're like put your picture on there, and then all those options how to edit your pictures, those filters were mistakes that photographers made. They were not things to enhance the photo. They were mistakes that happened to the photo.
I remember that.
So now people are using those things as if it's gonna make me look better. And at one time, you would be mad if those things happened to your picture. The exposure was too high, or the contrast was off, or the highlights, all those things. But now we're using it. So the same thing in music. You have to set. Most artists that I know, most writers that I know, take themselves out. The reason Kanye West just went all the way out to Middle America and wrote the album, and then helped produce Nas's album, because he wanted to separated from any distraction. And I think that's where originality comes from. And you're forced to be by yourself with your own thoughts and creativity, opposed to say, oh, I like Lil Uzi, but I like this and I like that, and then your music begins to sound like it. Or you purposely follow what someone else is did because you're lacking that initiative to take on your own creativity. So I always, like, I'm a person that don't believe everybody gotta leave Baltimore to be on, because you can be an international superstar from Baltimore and Curry. Like you can really live right there and be an international. I know plenty of we have many like artists that we know that live here in the city, and people would not even know it. We have millionaires who live right here, like a few blocks away from us, and you would never know it. But they live here because taxes are different. You know, the economic status that where they're at is they got a better tax break or whatever. But don't lose who you are, because that essence, that energy that you have is then matched by the energy of your creativity. And if you try to drop your, your roots, then you're not alive at that point. You don't know where you're coming. If you don't know where you came from, you don't know where you're going. And not being afraid to, tell people where you're from, and tell people that this is who I am. Where do you see yourself going in terms of your music? Wait a minute, hold on. Break. We got to pay some bills. Shout out to everybody that's tuned in. Continue to like and share. We'll be right back here on the Artists Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
And we're back with more Cheryl, the Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. I'm sorry, let me clarify that one more time. Thank you, super producer. We're going to get that 6 seconds from the hill, that news you used, that word on the street. What am I supposed to bring back? Did anybody make notes like I asked y'all to?
Which yes, we did. You said entertainment stuff, but right now this is...
It's just top of the show. Weren't we supposed to bring something back like don't mess with Iran?
Don't play with Iran, yeah.
They ain't no suckers over there.
No, they're not.
Listen to me. That's Harry Sutherland. Do you think that President Trump can handle the Iranians?
Absolutely not, because these people will die for their country.
That's right. Well, we'll die for ours too.
Yes, so are we, Harry.
We'll die for money. We'll die for money.
No, we'll die for our country.
The white man in America would die for money.
Well,
that's it. Not the kids or the children.
Yeah, we'll die for our country. Yeah. We just look more like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible dying for our country.
Right.
But the Iranians...
We're not taping nothing to our body to die for our country.
Oh, snap.
Absolutely.
Hold on. Don't say that.
My bad.
Y'all have no filter. Oh, look at the time. Man, y'all just lost my whole empire. We ain't trying to enhance that thought in somebody's mind. We just saying that there's a different mindset.
Oh yeah,
to dealing with people. Because didn't you say, Harry, the best way to win a war is to not have to fight somebody?
Absolutely.
Isn't that in the art of war? That's in the art of war. Yeah. But the other thing is, like they said in was it The Godfather 2? when they talking about when the guy blew himself up in Cuba. That's when they knew all was lost because of the willingness to die for a movement or a theory of some sort implanted in you by someone, good or bad. And I think that's what President Trump, he could talk all them wolf tickets, because now we're gonna be fighting in multiple fronts. And that's not what we want.
Absolutely. And we're fighting everybody, including our allies.
Absolutely.
You can't do that. You can't.
Absolutely. Hey, when we come back, we're going to talk about the impact of the tariffs. We're going to talk about something with our dear friend Maxine Waters and other things as we get that 60 seconds from the Hill, that news. You can use that word on the street from our favorite country lawyer, better known as Judge Harry Sutherland. When we come back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Hey, you're listening to Cheryl Underwood Radio. We getting that 60 seconds from the Hill, that news. You can use that word on the street from our favorite country lawyer, better known as Judge Harry Sutherland. If you'd like to weigh in, give us a call at 1-855-SHERYL1 or email us at SherylUnderwoodRadio.com. And right now, brothers and sisters, hit it, super producer.
Yet best trained, best educated, best equipped, best prepared, refused to
What?
Matter of fact, it's safe to say that they would rather switch than fight.
What? That's right. We out here coming hard for Maxine Waters.
Come on, Maxine.
What happened, Harry Sutherland? Did we have to evacuate something? What's going down?
Well, let me tell you, one of our favorite, our representative, Maxine Waters, her LA office was actually evacuated after an anthrax scare. It was a scare actually a couple of days ago, and they came in and had to evacuate the entire building. But one thing about this strong lady who we all love, she said, if you shoot at me, you better shoot straight.
That's
right.
She
ain't scared of nobody, Kyle. She is ready.
That's right. And we not advocating that you shoot at Maxine Waters.
Right.
No, don't do that. And we don't want no anthrax scare. We done already beat that talcum powder.
Come on,
black. That's right. So we don't want no more powder around Maxine Waters. We love Maxine Waters. We about to ride hard for Maxine Waters, and we need the Nation of Islam to surround Maxine Waters. That's right. And matter of fact, we need the praying saints of all beliefs to come and surround.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. It's time for HBCU shout out.
And on Pikesville,
yeah.
Right, you live in Baltimore City,
right,
sir.
Exactly.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. I'm really sensitive about like my city, because I hear a lot of people, and I don't worry about people who are not from here. I care more about the individuals that are from here that then choose to badmouth it and still live here.
Right.
Just hilarious. I don't fuck with her.
Hey, you know what?
At all.
I just told
she made her career over joking the individuals that pay, the only people that would at one point pay to see her tell jokes.
I just told my girl, I said, I seen her on Instagram. I think she was out, she was out South Carolina or Cali or something doing a show. You know, I just said something, just joking like, hey, why don't you bring Baltimore out there with you? And she straight said, oh no, there's gonna be problems out here, just that third blah. And I'm like, wow, hold up. You can't be doing that out. I mean, why are you trying to make us look like that? You from here, Jess? Like,
and ask her where was she performing at in the hood in North Carolina? She was performing in the hood.
It's crazy.
Like that's the problem that I have. Like if you don't have anything good to say, this like your mama said, don't say nothing at all. Like don't associate yourself with the negativity, because then that's the. I think I can't remember his name. Something Spears. He's a comedian.
Ari Spears.
He was in Lexington Market, and I went hard on his page after he posted that video of like, this is where the last slaves are located, and I'm like, you're not even from here, nigga. Like go back to the huddle that you live in. Like don't come here and do that. And you have to be that. I'm that protective of my city, because I see so many people that are making it bad and making it worse. And I don't want more artists to develop that thing where I get ahead by bad mouthing or shaming, where I'm getting my resources.
Right. A lot of people won't even come back down here. A lot of people won't even perform in Baltimore. And it's like,
well, they won't tell people they perform.
Right.
But they still getting money.
I've been to a lot of secret meetings and locations. Like, what is this all the secret for? Like, what's wrong with you?
Because I only want a certain clientele.
Exactly. And that's messed up. I mean, don't be scared of the city. You know what I mean?
Their fear is that they're representing something that they're really not.
The fear is the murder rate. They scared of the murder rate, so they're like, well, you know, we gotta be kind of low key. We don't know what kind of these people is. You know?
But I mean, you can go anywhere and get your chain snatched.
Exactly.
It's not. That's not exclusive to Baltimore City.
Right. And that's
the problem that I have with it, because then you start getting people who want to fulfill that.
Right.
So I'm hood. I'm out here snatching chains. So I'm gonna really do it now.
Right.
I'm gonna put on. Like I'm gonna make it really a thing. But you can go anywhere, anywhere, and have trouble. I've had issues in Baltimore, but I've had more issues outside of here.
Right.
Because I didn't look like I was from those other places.
Yeah. Right.
But you, as an artist, how important is it for you to stay connected to? I understand you got to live in the city for the rest of your life.
Oh no, I love my city.
How important is it for you to stay connected to?
This is
in terms of your creativity and your community.
It's so important. I mean, it's like, you know, this is where I come from. If I'm not talking about Baltimore, then what am I talking about? You understand what I'm saying? Like, if I'm not talking about how I came up with the things that I've seen, the things that I've been through, the things that I've seen and been through are here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in New York for 5 years. I moved up there for 5 years. You know, I had my 2 beautiful children, you know, and...
Real quick, how different was it? Was it any different?
Oh, totally different. It was totally different. You know, I was in Albany. You know, it was totally different.
Yeah,
it was totally different. Yeah, I was, you know, in the capital. I was upstate. So it was totally different, but they still got it in. I mean, it's still crazy up there. Don't get me wrong. Like,
exactly.
I done seen crowds come together to fight each other. Like the Warriors, like the crowds come together to fight each other. So I mean, you know, it's kind of crazy up there, but it was different. It's real different.
But you found, to be there for 5 years, you found something that was home-like.
Yeah, had
found
to.
something.
Had to.
And that's how I tell people, no matter, it may be a little different. Like, you know, I was trying out Philly for a minute.
Right.
And as I began to really look at where I was like, this is Park Heights.
Right.
Like, this feels like Park Heights to me.
Right.
Many different, the way it looked, the way it smelled, the way, you know, the people were. Like, I started seeing things. So as we begin to run away from where we don't want to be, you run right into it. I have a lot of friends that moved to California and ended up in the same circumstances they were in.
It feels good. You kind of latch on to that because you homesick. I mean, it's like, it's no place like home. It ain't no place like home. I don't care what we do outside. You can hear the sirens outside now. I love home. I love Baltimore. Like, you can't. It's nothing you can do to make me badmouth it, look at people crazy. Like, nah, this is a beautiful city for real. Like, we got so much to offer here.
Well, I tell a lot of artists, get out of your city and get out into the actual city, and do things. Like, I have family members, and it's sad, that live in Cherry Hill and Westport, that come into like the harbors, like getting out for the day.
Right.
And that's like 10-15 minutes from where you live at.
Right.
But get out and see the things that are happening in your city. We have Artscape here. AFRAM is about to come out.
Yep.
There are things to do
Wine
in your
festivals.
city.
We got everything. We got crabs.
But a lot of people don't. I mean, but that's the limit. I'm gonna go get some crabs and that's what you're doing. I'm gonna go walk down the harbor. But there are other parts of the city. There are other things creatively for artists to be able to do and take part in that you wouldn't normally see if you just stay in that 4-block radius of your hood.
Exactly.
So, being in New York, how did that take you outside of the mindset of this way I'm gonna be and this all that it is?
Well, before I left to go up New York, I had never went to another state to live. So I basically went to New York with just the clothes on my back. You understand what I'm saying? And like made something from nothing. So it was just a leap of trying something different. I got tired of being, you know, kind of closed in Baltimore. I'm not saying that, you know, it's nowhere to go. It's just that I didn't think it was nowhere to go. You understand what I'm saying? My mind was so closed in that I couldn't get outside the box. So by me going to New York, it opened up my mind a whole lot. To where as though, you know, I wanted to come back for hella years. I didn't want to stay up there for 5 years. I mean, the time that I spent up there,
you out of that habit of not doing anything.
Yeah, and it really kind of, you know, put my mind out the box. Like, oh wow. And it made me look at people different. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I started to, you know, recall a lot of my past and was like, oh, that's what that person meant. Or, oh, I should look at that person this way.
Just
like,
go
crazy.
somewhere. This travel. Yeah. I remember when the Greyhound used to be down on, I can't remember the name of the street.
Right down his way.
Yeah, down off of Howard Street.
Yeah.
And I remember it was down there. And one day I just was like, I'm just going to get on the bus and just go somewhere. And I ended up like in Chicago, and it was the craziest thing because up until that point I had traveled, like we went on like trips for school, and I had stayed in other states with family members for like the summer or weekend or something. But it wasn't, when you realize you have the power on your own by yourself to get up and just go. Like it's mind-boggling.
Yeah,
like you
can't
can do anything.
Anything.
It's a flight away, a bus away, a train away. You know, just
and
get
you know yourself. Either you gonna get to where you need to go, or you gonna make sure you get. I mean, get back home. I mean, it's either or. You know, it's all on you for real. You know, so I love that power. Once I started traveling, I was like, oh yeah, this is what I want to do. But I'm always gonna come back home.
So how often do you travel now?
I don't really travel. Not this year. I didn't really do too much traveling at all this year. At all. Really, I did a lot of local stuff. Like when Carlos and Chico Bay was just down here at the Comedy Factory. Me and my girl, we went to that. And then like a lot of other things locally for real. We was trying to go to. I was just doing a lot of local stuff this year.
Even on a budget. Go with Tiffany Haddish. Go to Groupon. Get on the MARC train. Go to DC. Like DC connects you to like Virginia.
I don't even call that traveling anymore. My bad. I've been at DC. We was DC a couple of times this year. I don't call that traveling. It's like right there.
Exactly.
But
yeah, people don't think that.
But it's different up there though. You know, the people are different for real. You know, and I love seeing different people. You know what I'm saying? Like I love people for real. You
just get on the. I mean, just as a challenge, just get on the train and just go somewhere like that. New York or anything that's within the vicinity, like maybe a couple hours, and just get outside your city one time and just encourage your friends to do that, or start looking for opportunities outside the city.
Exactly.
Like it's nothing for you to be able to go to Bandcamp, the app, and find something that's else going on or something else locally that you can connect with somebody. Or it's so many. I use an app now called Sharp, SHAPR, and you put up you only can put up like a blurb about yourself. And maybe connect your social media to it, and you meet people from all over. And it's amazing, like the conversation. I've already had maybe like 3 or 4 people from the app come on and just do the show. But just learning ways to just actually talk to those people. So I go through my Facebook page randomly, and I send a person a hello. Like if you sent me a message before or request before, and I'm looking at it, I'm gonna say hello to you. You got 3 days to respond. Or I'm erased because that spot needs to be for somebody else. Like, and I randomly go through that because when I first started doing radio and being an artist, a full-time artist, I just started adding people to the page. I need 5,000 people on my page. And when you get to 5,000, you can't add anybody. Then you start looking at them 5,000 like, who really need to be on this list?
Exactly.
Yep. You can't have 3 different pages on my page. How are you with the business? So we'll go back to the business side of being an artist. Where are you with the business side?
The business side of it is oh man, that's like the bread and butter. I mean, the business side of it. Now I'm not making the money. You know, of course, I'm not making the money that I want to be. You know, because everybody that's into this industry for real wants to make cool money and everything. But I'm totally not. But as far as the business side of everything, I'm really trying to educate myself. You know, getting the knowledge of everything. You know, knowing the ins and outs, knowing the terminologies. You know, especially in the studio period. You know, being an engineer, being a producer. You know, things like that. For real, I'm really starting to take the business side kind of.
So you're doing.
I'm starting to learn how to do that now. I'm actually laying down my own tracks now. I mean, I don't know how to make beats yet, you know, but I'm starting to learn that too. I'm starting to just really get to the business side of everything. And you know, I paid $300 in fucking personal property tax shit every year. You know what I mean? So I mean, like, I gotta keep my name. I gotta keep my business. I'm working on getting my logo trademarked and next, so I can have an official logo stamped and everything like that, business cards and everything. We got the studio equipment now, and that's what I'm working on now. I'm just working on all the business. Music, I can do the music. The music ain't really about nothing. You know, all I gotta do is sit down and listen to a beat, right to it. That ain't about nothing. So right now, I'm just trying to get the business side of everything. You know, because it's nobody wants to get fucked over. You know, and if you do, you would like to recover from that fuck up. You get what I'm saying? So it's like that's where I'm at now with the business side. I'm just trying to educate myself as much as. And I was just told before he left. Tell him like, man, I went down Barnes and Noble and spent like $50 on books. You know what I mean? On the business period. I mean, just to entertain the business.
that's what the library for. You can always go back. We got the library.
I know that
before they close.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
I'm owning the books. But if they just gonna sit on your desk until like 5 years later.
No, I'm a totally different person. I like to read. You know, this used to be the city that reads. That's why I grew up in that era. Like the city that reads. But we don't consider ourselves that no more. It's Charm City now.
Yeah.
It's not the city that reads anymore. And it's like I think we should have kept that. Yeah, but I think we should have kept that though. I think we should have kept that. The city that reads, like you know. So that's what I'm doing on the business side of things. Just really trying to educate myself. And like you said, you know, it's really we don't really have any colleges or schools or anything for real that teaches entertainment business.
That's not true.
That's not true?
Because you have entertainment management both at Coppin State University.
I didn't know that.
And at Morgan State University.
I didn't know that. When did it start?
When does it start?
No, when did it start?
The entertainment management has been at Coppin for, I want to say, about almost 4 years.
Okay.
It's been a couple years.
Okay.
And Morgan has had theirs a little bit longer.
That's right, because they got the radio station and everything at Morgan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But see, I didn't really see.
But that's a separate part. That's the media journalism side.
Okay.
They actually have entertainment management, and so does Coppin.
Okay. The one that I heard about was Full Sail, and that's in Florida.
You gotta look a little bit beyond.
I be trying to look deeper, and I couldn't find. I didn't see those. I skipped those two. So yeah, those.
So now you're down the street from Coppin and Morgan. You can choose east or west where you're living,
and that's gonna be more of my business side. Thank you. I appreciate it, really, for real.
But and that goes having a conversation with people. So we learn things. I may not have all the answers personally, but I may know somebody who has it.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I'm a Coppin State, alum, so I know, I know what's going on.
Right.
But you got to be able to outsource. Don't keep all your questions inside, because I used to do that, and a lot of my answers weren't answered. A lot of my questions weren't answered because I didn't ever look outside of myself. I thought I had to find the answer for myself all the time.
Yeah.
And sometimes you learn all the different aspects of what it is that you're doing, but you don't really you don't put it out there.
Right.
A closed mouth will always be hungry.
Right.
Because you're not looking outside of yourself to for support, because we from Baltimore. We had to learn everything the hard way. We gotta figure out how to do this and rob Peter to pay for all that whole mantra that our parents went through, that grandparents, and now we're going through, and now hopefully our children don't have to go through.
Right.
But you gotta learn to start looking outside of yourself. Quick break. We'll be right back with our last segment here live on the Artist Exchange Radio Show with Mr. Chopper Man. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Shouting out the HBCU radio stations that are affiliates of Cheryl Underwood Radio. Courtney Black, who you got?
I'm heading out to Fort Valley, Georgia. I got Fort Valley State University,
where we broadcast on WFVS FM 96.9. All right, Jim Kelly, who you got?
Cheryl jumping over to Mississippi and Alcorn State University.
All right, well, we broadcast on WPRL FM 91.7. All right, let's see. Who you got, Harry Sutherland?
I'm going to stay in Mississippi, and I'm going to bring up Mississippi Valley State University.
All right, well, we broadcast on WVSD FM 91.7. Kyle Irby, who you got?
You know I got to get over there to Greensboro, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
Shouting out our top original five,
That's
North
right.
Carolina State University.
North Carolina A&T State University, WNAA 90.1 FM. And let's see, Vic Frost, who you got?
I'm going to stay in North Carolina and give a shout out to Elizabeth City State University.
Absolutely, where we broadcast on WRVS FM 89.9 in Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
I got to give a special shout out to St. Augustine's College, where we broadcast on WAUG AM 750. That's right, 750. And why are we shouting out these HBCUs? Because we're coming to your homecoming. That's right, we're starting at Elizabeth City State homecoming October 26, 27. Then we're going to roll around to Voorhees, where we broadcast on WVCD AM 790 and WVCD FM 96.5 Voorhees College in Denmark, South Carolina. Then we're going to roll over to Benedict College. That's right, Benedict College's homecoming is November, I think, 16th or 17th. Am I right? Am I right, brothers and sisters? I want y'all to look at that, because at Benedict College we broadcast at WBCT FM 90.9. We're coming to your homecoming. That's right. We coming to Columbia, South Carolina. We're coming to the Bayou Classic. We're coming to all the classics, but we're coming to all HBCU affiliates of Cheryl Underwood Radio. And why are we shouting out HBCUs? Because black history is American history, but you don't have to be black to get a quality education at an HBCU. So we coming at you. We'll be right back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio. Now it's time for Warren Ballantyne's Tell Me Something You Don't Know.
Thank you, Cheryl. This is Warren Ballantyne with Cheryl Underwood Radio, and I'm going to tell you something you may not know. Well, everybody's going crazy over this recording of Donald Trump and Michael Cohen. CNN, you would have thought they were breaking literally Watergate the way they were going crazy over this audio of Cohen and Trump. The reality of it is that the audio doesn't prove anything. The only thing that it proves is that Trump is a liar, that he knew. But we all knew that he's been lying about he knew that these women were paid off. What is the big deal here? Furthermore, you do realize Trump could have stopped this audio from ever coming out. It was Debbie Wasserman Schultz who made sure Hillary Clinton would win the Democratic nomination. This is why Bernie Sanders people did not go out and vote for Hillary. It also was the media. The media literally put Trump all over the place where he didn't have to spend money to run for president. And finally, it was the Obama administration, because they knew about the Russian possibility of them interfering with the election before the election. And they didn't say anything because they were so sure that Hillary Clinton was going to win. So for people, I hate to say this, but Trump's right about one thing. It's a lot of fake news going on. I'm Warren Ballantyne, and I hope I told you something you didn't know right here on Cheryl Underwood Radio.
And we're back with more Cheryl Underwood Radio.
Thank you, super producer. Hey, we're in our entertainment discussions. We're talking about R. Kelly and his situation. In the next break, we're going to talk about someone who possibly needs our help but doesn't need to be hurt by premature discussion. And it's someone that we love here on this show. We're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about, and I know y'all like, well, why would you just talk about it within R. Kelly? Is Bill Cosby having to register as a sex offender?
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. This is the last segment. Don't forget, the 24th of August, we'll be having an open house here. We haven't had one in a long time. So basically, Friday, August the 24th, we're going to open our doors. You're able to come in, get on air live, and join us in our new studio, and promote yourself for a segment, meet other artists and entrepreneurs, community leaders, business owners, so on and so forth. Also meet up with our lineup of hosts for the station. If you want to join the station, you can definitely come on out that day, or email us at info@bigexposeradio.com. Our website, www.bigexposeradio.com, for more updates on the open house. Be able to connect with from the comfort of your own creativity. So definitely tune into the Artist Exchange every Monday and Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. You can follow us on Instagram. I'm not really the Twitter head like that, but I'll share something to it. Right. But Instagram and Facebook is definitely where I'm at. But can you give us your social media and where we can find you?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere where his music posted. YouTube, Reverb Nation, TuneCore, number1music.com. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Tumblr. I don't even know really what Tumblr is, but you can find me on Tumblr.
Tumblr is a little special. I just downloaded that.
I made a page and I
there's
just
a lot going on.
I have no idea what's going on. You know, I try to post a picture and it's always sideways. I guess that's the Tumblr, how they do it.
Well, you use your phone. Some platforms won't allow you to. It won't switch it over for you.
I thought that's how they was. Tumblr. So I think I thought that's how it was.
mean, everywhere, you know, everywhere, for real, everywhere.
So you said you just finished up a show at the Depot.
Yeah.
What type of shows are you looking to do? Are you looking?
I'm looking to do shows that have people in there so I can entertain them. I understand, you know, that I have to bring my own people. You know, I have to, you know, I gotta bring a crowd too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'll say a side note. I want to get rid of. This is my 2018 campaign. I want to get rid of these promotional events that are charging artists to come, because all that is really happening is you're performing to your family and friends, and the other artists' family and friends. The promoters of these events are not doing their due diligence. You don't make money off of people who are trying to make it. You know, because nobody above their level even talk to you. So you're stealing money from individuals that are trying to make it, and you're taking it as fast as they can save it. Right. And I really don't. I've gone to a lot of these showcases that they call them, which are really high school level talent shows, because they put anybody on the roster. And most times it be artists that are really good that are at 1 a.m. And it's, I don't gauge talent. You can't grade talent. But what I would say is to you, why we're complaining about mediocrity winning, well, this is why. Because we have these individuals that are called promoters that aren't really promoters. They need to go to Coppin and go to entertainment management and understand what it is to really be PR and A&R. Right. And setting up these showcases that are supposed to be a limited amount of artists, right? Not 20, 30 people, right? Exactly. It's supposed to be a limited amount of artists that are specifically trying to showcase what they have coming up, exactly. Or if they have music that are coming up. Right. And you should not be taken away from their creativity, their money, their energy, their talents, only to get ticket sales. Exactly. I hear how artists are having to sell like 20, 30 tickets, and don't make anything from it, or they make half of the ticket sales. But if you're not good, and you're not, as the PR person, A&R person, you're not training them how to get an audience in. Right, so our natural instinct is to call my mother and be like, or that wild aunt that comes to everything and fill up the seats. Because what happens is other people that are there are realizing, oh, that's his family there. He ain't got no support. So I ain't gonna support you.
Really, and it's even more of like, all right, so you have this artist's family, and then he's performing. So then once he's done, his family's going, his family's leaving. So now you only left there with your family. But it's like, if you might have really had something that somebody else wanted to listen to. So if they'd have stayed, it's not just been supporting them, they'd have heard what you had to say, and they might have been on you too. So now you know you got them as your family. But no, it doesn't go like that. You know, people. Man, I done sold tickets and people don't even show up. I mean, not to say, you know, I don't got nothing to do that after the money is in my hand. You know, you bought the ticket. I have nothing to do with that if you don't show up.
To the side of
but
the
I
people
think that
who are
still need to show up though.
Right, that goes to, so get out in your city. It's so much going on, but get out in your city. But what happens is people are tired of paying their money for individuals who are in spaces that are hole in the wall, dives, bars, and they don't really see the advancement on their investment. Right. So you keep inviting me to this showcase, and I ain't seen an album, I ain't seen a tour, I ain't seen an award, I haven't seen anything more out of you than the last time you got me to buy this ticket. So that's on the side of the person selling the ticket, the promoter, the A&R person, the event manager, whatever they want to call themselves today. Stop doing this. It's really making our city look bad. It's really making the credibility of our art community look bad when artists are having to go to DC to find managers, or going to New York to find managers, or moving out of the city because these crooks are getting over with them. But that's enough. I'm not gonna say no more about them. Any last minute thoughts that you want to give out to the people?
Last minute thoughts, you know, stay yourself, keep your head up, stay strong, because it's too much out here for real. And you know, I mean, don't let it break you, let it make you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
fuck the fame and all the money and everything for real. Do this for your family to leave a legacy behind. You know, I'm not doing this just for me, just because, you know, I love doing it and I want to just go ahead and party and, you know, visit the other places and vacation. That's cool. But I'm doing this to leave a legacy. So that's the reason why I got the business started. So now when my kids grow up, I can teach them the business and they can carry on the business. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm not doing this just when I leave here, you know, Chop left only like $1 million, you know, y'all gotta split it. No, I'm not doing it. You understand what I'm saying? Because, you know, as black men, for real, once we die, we don't leave our families with nothing. Some people gotta be cremated and buried in boxes because we can't even afford to bury them.
Speaking of that, come on the 24th of August, we have a phenomenal young man who is an insurance broker, and he is able to give out insurance to people who need insurance, because he's tired of these crowdfunders when somebody passes away. So that's been the show. The last question that I'm gonna ask you is, what advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
17-year-old self? Yeah, Dave Chappelle question. Let me see. Wow. I don't even know what I would say to my 17-year-old. I mean,
not to prevent anything.
Right.
Mistakes help us grow, but just to, you know, what advice would you give them in moving forward?
Educate yourself more. Educate yourself more. Education goes a long way, and there's so much different stuff out here to learn. But, you know, learn what you're interested in first, and once you finish that, then the sky's the limit. You can learn anything. Just gain more education, gain more knowledge for real. That's what I would tell my 17-year-old.
Read more, do more.
Yeah.
That's been an Artist Exchange Radio Show. Tune in this Friday, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. every Monday and Friday, actually. And you can also, don't forget to come subscribe to our page, our Instagram page, and our Facebook page at the Artist Exchange. Also, we have a group on called the Artist Exchange, where you can post all your upcoming artists, events, only creative events. I don't want your hair coupon. I don't want to buy any bundles, none of that. So only creative events. So go to the Artist Exchange and you'll see the same banner on that page. It's a group, not a page. So again, thank you, sir, for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a real interesting, enlightening show. So again, the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com. Peace out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought they would do it for him.
No, right. just put his picture up.
We got you, Bill. Don't come down.
That's right. That's right. But we might as well connect it to R. Kelly.
Well. It's a very similar thing.
Okay, so Kyle, you were saying you're going to continue. You like what he put out.
Oh, I like the song.